Hello, friends, brothers and sisters. My name is Denmark, and welcome to Pathways of Hope. The Gospel today is perhaps one of the most recognizable passages in the Bible, a breath of fresh air in a modern world that is full of demands, toils, and trials. God gives us a different way, a life giving way that allows us to experience fullness of life in Him. And so I read from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verses 28 to 30. It says, "Come to me, all of you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." When I was single, I would only bring one luggage during travel. Even after I got married, my wife and I would usually share one luggage. If we'd be away for longer, then we'd carry one luggage each. But now that we have our baby, it seems our luggage or baggage count has doubled, tripled even. Imagine bringing baby's clothes, diapers, milk, bottles, bottle warmers, sterilizer, bathing bed, wipes, and many more. A simple 3-day vacation equals baggages that looks like we'll be gone for a month. They're really heavy, but we could easily carry them. There's a kind of baggage, however, that is so heavy it causes weariness not just in our bodies but also in our soul. It makes us exhausted and exasperated to a state of mental and emotional fatigue. And when it is felt, it increases the temptation to give up and succumb to apathy and depression. Have you ever felt this way? Spending countless hours at work dealing with office politics, carefully weaving through complicated office relationships, and coming home tired only to do it again the next day. Dealing with family issues, having a love-hate relationship with your siblings, and even at times having a hard time meeting the expectations of your parents, which oftentimes can be overbearing. Or even handling baggages from a complex relationship with a friend, or loving someone who doesn't love you back. Jesus could also be using this term of being weary and heavy laden to represent those who are burdened by living in sin. St. Paul tells us to throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles from Hebrews chapter 12. Jesus teaches us a way out of this. When I was younger, I had the privilege of hanging out with my grandfather. Back then, he ran a traditional farm where now tractors and large farm equipment plowed the land. We had a humble carabao to till part of our farmland. But this carabao was quite old, and so my grandfather bought a younger one. And when I saw the calf, it was being held by my grandpa, and he pulled it and set the two carabaos side by side. And he began mounting a harness at both of them. So I asked what those were for. He told me this harness enabled the two animals to work together. Later on, I found out that it was called a yoke. This allowed the two animals to easily plow the soil to enable it to be planted on. Well, one purpose of this yoke was to lighten the load of the older carabao, but at the same time, this enabled the younger calf to learn from the older one. Whenever the young one suddenly tried to turn, the seasoned older carabao would stand still until the young calf was ready to continue. In this way, the young calf learned from the seasoned carabao with whom he was yoked, as the two bore the burden together. In essence, as my story suggests, Jesus invites all who are weary and heavy laden to be yoked with Him. This would include those being weighed down by exhaustion, emotional distress, and difficulties, and those weighed down by sinful living. It is key to note that Jesus is not saying stop, but rather replace. When we replace the weight of the countless baggages we have accumulated in this world with the yoke of Jesus, something happens that changes our lives. One is that we can learn from Jesus. As we go through life with Jesus and encounter circumstances that are new and scary for us, we can learn from His experience to discover the best way forward. He helps those who are yoked to Him to learn to live life as God intended for us to live. Two is that we will find rest for our soul. When we are yoked with Jesus, He helps shoulder the burden. When we are yoked with Him, we are no longer carrying our burdens alone. In Philippians 4 verse 13, Paul says, "We are able to do all things through Christ who strengthens us." Jesus says His yoke is easy because anyone can come to Him and learn from Him. He says His burden is light because His strength helps lighten the burden, and His burden is unlike that of this world. But something more meaningful comes out when we share our yoke with Him, and it is the partnership and relationship we get to share with Him as we go through life together. This is a personal opportunity and comfort to all who are tired of never being good enough or tired of chasing the illusions of this world. Jesus offers all who are weary to come to Him and learn how to live life to the fullest, to rest from the futile, crushing burdens of this world, and to have an opportunity to partner in yoke with Him, to walk with us in this journey of our lives. Have you been blessed by today's reflection? Please like and share this video with your friends and loved ones. Again, my name is Gillesania. Thank you and have a blessed day.